Hi again, all. Nelson Malone here with EDPS 340 video lecture number 10 for winter. There is light at the end of our tunnels, right? Hopefully, both in terms of classes and COVID-19. Hopefully. Seriously, hope you're all well and getting through this. They say adversity builds character. We'll see. All right, two lectures left. Enough with assessment. We are going to move on to two related topics, related in my view, a bit of a stretch maybe, but one is my summary of really good teaching in one page. So you'll need to bring up this document, which I sent, I think, on the morning of April 13. So we'll pause and let you bring that up. Alrighty. I would just like to talk about these things a little bit. I believe I've had some success as a K-12 teacher. Not that I'm Mr. Cool, but I was my district teacher of the year back in '88 and state runner-up for state teacher of the year that year as well. So I like to think it was a good career and students did well and learned something. But I thought I'd boil it down to one page. So I'd like to comment on each of these bullets. Notice how very creative I got. I actually used different fonts and different spacing. That's about as creative as I get. I know that creativity is not my forte. I know that it is for you, many of you, because in your caps, most of which came in on time, had some real creativity, especially in the alternative assessment piece, which is where they should be. You don't want to get creative on a traditional test. So here we go. I hope you have that page pulled up. No one-upsmanship. What am I talking about? You're the adult in the room, and kids are going to challenge, especially when they hit adolescence. Kids are going to challenge. Kids are going to try to get your goat. I don't know if you know what that expression means. Look it up if you'd like. But you need to remain the adult. I hope this is not an inappropriate analogy, but imagine, maybe I've shared this in class. Imagine the psychiatrist coming home after a hard day's work and saying to his or her spouse or partner, "Man, these people are nuts I deal with." Well, yeah, that's your job. that's your job. I know nuts is not really a nice term. I apologize a little. So you need to be above the fray most of the time. Now, you're human, of course, but still, you're modeling at all times for the kids. Alrighty? Which is related to no power trips. If you're in teaching because you want to be in front of a bunch of people who are weaker than you, and you can kind of push around, time to get think about another career before you do your student teaching, right? You're not there for power trips. Totally unrelated, but there it is, free time. That doesn't mean that you can't have a few minutes of, okay, we're done with today's lesson. You can chat or look at your phones or whatever, just briefly. But don't be rewarding kids, quote, with free time. You did a good job on the test, so Friday is a free day. Oh, no. Number one, your principal or whomever, superintendent, won't like it. Number two, there's just too much to cover nowadays, so don't want to do that. And hopefully you'll make your classroom tone positive enough that kids will semi-enjoy learning in your classroom. Right? And they won't need free time. Never get angry. I guess that kind of goes with the first thing I said, no one-upsmanship. Again, you're human and you may actually be angry sometimes, but you need to be in control always, and you don't get into these windless arguments with kids. And understand, some will try real hard to get you angry, almost as if it's a job of adolescence in particular, but don't fall for it. You need to be above the fray, which leads to the next thing. Unacceptable behavior and so on is just really normal. You should know something about developmentalism at this point, and it is just really normal for kids to challenge and so on. I'm not saying it's okay and you don't deal with it when they, quote, misbehave, but you don't treat it as weird or unexpected or shocking. It happens. Think back, if you would, to your younger days. Yeah, right. Also related, which student behaviors are really your problems. Real quick, once when I was principal at Mason Elementary in Grosse Pointe, first grader had this habit of just tapping, whether his foot or with a pencil, or he just always tapped. And the teacher came to me real bothered by it. What should I do? What should I do? And he just won't stop. To make a long story short, it was the teacher's problem. No, the other kids didn't seem to care. And in the end, the teacher had to either ignore it or give him some Q-tips to tap. Yeah. Minimal intervention. I hope you know what that means. We don't have a big old fit every time kids do something that you might call misbehaving. You, as the teacher, you always intervene at the lowest level possible. Sometimes it's as simple as this kind of a look. Dwayne? And that's all it takes. There's no need to overdo it. And generally, you don't want to be sending kids to the office every time they misbehave. You need to handle things yourself. You lose power when you're always sending kids to the counselor or the office or wherever. So be aware of that. Stay positive with the non-positive kids. Again, it's so normal for kids, for many kids anyway, to just, quote, misbehave. They're still learning the ropes. There's still moral development going on. And you can't expect perfection any more than I expect perfection from you or from myself. So stay positive with those non-positive kids. Let's say you have a real run-in, so to speak, with Dwayne on Tuesday. It was pretty tense and kind of negative, and maybe you're even a little disappointed in yourself the way you handled it, whatever. The next day, when you're at the doorway and the kids are coming in, and you are at the doorway when the kids are coming in, right? Right. And Dwayne comes by and he avoids eye contact. It's your job to quickly take him aside, low key. Hey, Dwayne. Hey, you and I, man, we tangled yesterday. I am so sorry. That's not the way it should be. You know, fresh start today. Cool? Cool. Now, I can't promise you how Dwayne will take that. He may give a little sheepish smile, which means we're good. Or he may mumble under his breath, or even, mumble an F-bomb as he walks away. That's not good. But still, you stay positive with the non-positive kids. It's one of my points of pride in my K-12 career that I stayed positive with those difficult kids, and many of them came back later and in one way or another said thank you, maybe not in those words, or in the last 10 years have showed up on Facebook and said, Maylone, how you doing? You were cool. So I'm kind of proud of that. Catch them being good. You've heard that before, right? And don't just catch them being good in terms of academics, but catch them being good in terms of being thoughtful, kind to others, creative, and maybe make a quick phone call home when you catch them being good. Oh, this is tough because your plates are full as just doing your job as teachers. But research is clear, and it's my own experience, that if you attend student extracurriculars on occasion, you don't have to stay for the whole wrestling match or the whole football game or whatever, or the whole band concert. Kids see that and appreciate that, and that goes a long way toward establishing a positive tone in the classroom, just by you showing up at these extracurriculars. Next day, you just say, hey, Dwayne, dude, I saw you at the match. Boy, you pinned that guy like in 30 seconds. Way to go. And then you leave it at that. You don't overdo it. You just handle it that way. I know it may be tough to attend extracurriculars, but if you're not the sponsor. But when you can, it's a good thing. Totally changing gears again. Communicate the purpose of all academic work to kids. You always tell them what it's about. You always tell them why we're doing it. Try to connect it with previous lessons, connect it with where we're going in this unit, and so on. I just avoid busy work, which ties into the next line there, rethink homework. Don't just give busy work homework. And don't assign homework as a punishment. That is a major crime. Won't land you in jail, but it's just not a real good thing. Right? There's no time this semester to talk about it, but I would love to do a whole workshop on how less is more regarding homework. But having taught algebra for a zillion years, I would just give them a handful of problems, equations to solve, whatever that night, not a ton, and that we certainly processed it the next day. That was super important. You always honor their work, so to speak. But there's no need to assign homework every night. There's no need to give them tons and tons of work. Give them just enough to reinforce the lesson and to give them a little practice and then move on. There's actually a movement out there, which some of you will come in contact with if you haven't already, to basically assign kids no homework ever. I don't know where I stand on that, but just be aware. I'm giving you a heads up. Rethink praise. You want to both give praise to students where appropriate, look for opportunities, back up to catch them being good, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it in writing on assignments. Good job, wonderful job, fabulous. Everybody can't be outstanding and excellent. The root of outstanding is standing out. The root of excellent is excel, meaning standing out. It's the old everybody gets a trophy thing for showing up and breathing. You want to avoid that. So be judicious with your praise. I'm not saying withhold it, but be judicious. And don't be telling everybody good job every time they tie their shoe correctly. Right? Gosh, I wish I had more time to discuss all of these and give you more examples, but hopefully you'll think about these things. And finally, we do have one more thing about assessment. I sure hope you pick this up over the course of this semester, in person or virtual. No more crappy tests, please. Your caps have been pretty good, although a number of you still have to get them in, and I'm sure you will. There'll be one. I hope this was helpful. What I've shared here will basically not be on the final exam, which, as I said, will be essay based. Watch for that soon. You'll have a few days to respond to that final exam, by the way. But hopefully this was just helpful stuff for you. Alrighty. One more lecture probably tomorrow, and we'll call it a day. Alrighty. Take care. Bye.